Bring it, as they say. Bring it. Or, as Dave Rabbit said, fuck it before it fucks you. It's August 14th, 2023, and I don't have my soundboard up, Katie.
Oh, dang it.
You didn't remind me. No, I forgot. We are a very piss poor podcast.
So I don't think I ever remind you.
No, you don't.
Sorry.
But anyway, here we go. Welcome to this shit show that we bring you on a weekly basis. Hope you enjoy it. I gotta adjust my camera. It's very fluid what we do here. So it's been one of them there weeks, Katie. It's been a week.
It has.
It's been another week. Me and the missus got a new vehicle I was telling you before the show. The old Chariot. It's kind of being held together with glue and duct tape. Literally, there was some duct tape on the car.
Hey,
not even joking when I say that. There was duct tape on the car. Yeah, so got rid of that piece of shit. Got into something new. So
nice new upgrade.
Yes, new Chariot to gallivant, do things, go places. More updated. I'm very into this digital vehicle experience, Katie.
They're spaceships these days, man.
Well, I very much like the fact that everything is connected. My phone, I have my own user profile.
That is pretty cool.
Just blink. It's me. You know, it's very, very, I like this digital interface vehicle world. I like it. It. I'm ready for the heads-up display on the fucking across the windshield. Give me that shit.
I don't know about those. I think those started to be a thing and they took them away because they were too distracting or something.
I'm all in. Give me that shit. Give me the heads-up display. Let's go. I've been playing video games for a long time. Heads-up display is not a problem for me.
That's true.
Not a problem for me. Yeah, so new Chariot to drive around in. That's kind of nice because she definitely needed it for getting back and forth to work. She works much further away than I do, so there's that. And the UFO video that I sent you. It's an interesting one.
It's a thought-provoking one, for sure.
I don't know how much validity there is to it, ladies and gentlemen, but we will take a look at it at some point. People are claiming that it is definitive proof of what happened to flight MH370. Yeah.
Well, people claim that they definitively found Bigfoot all the time. And people definitively claim all sorts of crazy, weird things. So
yes, they do. Yes,
we'll
they
see.
do, Katie.
Yeah.
And in fact, Katie, I went back to my roots last night. Was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. Let me see if I can find this. I gotta do a little searching here, Katie. Small town monsters. Now, I've brought up these people quite a few times. Small town monsters. Watched quite a few of their documentaries, whatnot. But what I delved into last night was Beyond the Trail, the Alaskan Coastal Sasquatch, Part 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you seen this thing?
I'm pretty sure I watched those a long time ago.
They came out, he put them on YouTube, let's see, 7 and 8 months ago.
Then maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Alright, so it's not bad. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hate it.
So it is a newer thing.
Right. But it's one of those things where nobody's seen anything. There's been a lot of like vocalizations and noises and weird things going on, and it's interesting. But I think it could have been wrapped up in like one part.
They didn't need to
instead of 3 hours.
Didn't need to hook you with the second episode.
Yeah, I was good. And I like what Small Town Monsters is trying to do. Like I've liked like the Dogmen stuff, werewolf stuff that they've been coming out with. They'll go at it.
I'm wondering if I have seen any of this.
Yeah, I can send you the link for it.
Well, I haven't watched a lot of that kind of stuff in the recent past couple of years. You know, I've kind of gotten out of it. So if it is newer, then I probably haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've just avoided it all. But I came across this last night and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. Fuck it. Let's see where these boys go. And they did some interesting things. Like I want to understand why it is that Sasquatch hunters think they need to just fucking throw everything at it. Like, they're out there playing the flute. They got the little fucking bowl with the fucking thing. They're running around to make the noise. They got fucking... They're singing. They're doing... I mean, they're just trying every fucking thing that they can think of. Like... I don't get this. We got to just do crazy shit to try to elicit responses all the time.
Right. To me, it seems like they're just scaring them away when you do that kind of shit.
Just go out there and do what you're going to do.
Right.
Just
be quiet, actually.
Well, no, just, go out there and sit around. Be like people sitting around a campfire.
That's true.
If that means you're going to sing for a little bit, so be it. But that's... I think they're more apt to come in when you're acting naturally.
Yeah.
Than when you're not.
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm no expert.
No. Everybody's got a weird, wacky strategy, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, but then that, to me, that is that gray area between the woo and woo Bigfoot. Like, that's the crossover into some hokey stuff that I don't personally subscribe to. Like, I can't get into the interdimensional and the portals.
Right.
And I'm out.
Yeah, it's very... well, hey, if that fucking video is real, you might not be out, Katie. You might be going in to a fucking portal.
I don't think so.
Just saying.
I would not be the one.
Just saying. Tonight at 11. Yeah. I'm with you on the Bigfoot thing. Like, when you go too far, I wonder. But at the same time, I will say that I've often wondered about the alien connection when it comes to Bigfoot. It seems like it's a little too sneaky.
I have a hard time going there. But yes, it is an angle. It's an angle to for sure kind of be like, oh,
I don't think it's an angle that everybody can just completely rule out. And the people that want to just completely rule it out and say, no, it just can't be.
Right.
Okay, why?
It's funny to say that over something that isn't even proven yet, but you're making black and white boundaries.
So, and I've had people tell me before, well, there was, they also saw something in the sky that night that they saw something. And I'm like, well, how come nobody's talking about it?
Right.
Because, they don't want to make the connection. it's like, what the fuck is that?
Because a lot of people really are flesh and blood Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those.
Wait a minute.
People,
Wait.
But, I'm
but
not...
how does Bigfoot being an alien stop it from being flesh and blood?
Right. True.
I mean...
True. But it automatically gives that stigma to which side the story's going on. But to that credit, there are a lot of stories where it seems like the two are kind of intertwining, and so that's why people lean that way. I get it.
Yeah.
My brain just doesn't necessarily go down those paths. But I do see them. I get it. It's a theory.
Oh, yeah,
I can
absolutely.
entertain.
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta plug in my vape here. Fucking didn't do that earlier. I've been all discombobulated today, Katie.
It's because we do this on Mondays, man.
Yeah, it's a weird day. It's a weird day.
I had a Monday, so...
It's weird. It's like the end of my weekend, kinda, but... the beginning of your week, but... I don't know. I don't know where I am half the time. But then, later on tonight, we will get into the... And this is an old documentary, so a lot of people will be like, what's he fucking talking about the fucking missing 411 the hunted for? That came out a while ago. They already went over this. Yes. Yes, we did. On another show.
Mm-hmm.
However, I decided to take a deep dive on the old missing 411 cases. And what I found was rather interesting. Now, I will preface that by saying that, I'm not a fan of David Paulides, or Paulides, how the fuck you pronounce his name. But I do think that he does bring interest into cases that may not have gotten attention. That I think he does.
He does.
However, I think he has ulterior motives, in my opinion. I think there are other people out there that try to defend him and say, no, I don't think he has ulterior motives. I definitely do. He's selling books. He's making documentaries. The man has ulterior motives. He's trying to make a living off of this. And that's fine. I'm not.
That doesn't necessarily mean malicious either.
Well, yeah, and I'm not begrudging him for that.
Right.
However, he has an agenda, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think some of that is very apparent when you look at some of the cases and then look at the stuff that's been left out. Maybe. Just me. But yeah, we'll get into that later on. Because I went back over said missing 411 documentary. I had said to Katie, we should take a look at this case. This one kind of intrigues me. This guy just kind of vanished, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so I kind of went down some roads there. And there's some theories about what happened to these people. Well, individually, but we'll get into that later. Anyway,
right.
On with the stories of the night. Let me see here. Where shall we start? Oh, this is kind of... I think we did something on this a while ago. Maybe not. If not, who gives a fuck? But I think we did. From WAFF.com, previous owner of Scottsboro Haunted House accepts plea on sodomy charge. Scottsboro, Alabama, the previous owner of the Bedlam Haunted House in Scottsboro received his sentencing this week after previously accepting a plea deal on a sodomy charge. According to online court documents, Greg Gamble received a 10-year split sentence in the deal. He is expected to serve 18 months in prison minus the time already served. After leaving prison, he will serve 3 years on parole. Any violations of his deal will result in serving the full 10-year sentence behind bars. Prior to the plea deal, Gamble faced 3 other sexual abuse charges in addition to the sodomy charge. The sexual abuse charges were dropped as part of the deal. In 2022, WAFF 48 spoke to the new owners of Bedlam and the changes they planned for the haunted house. And that's a link for a fucking something else. That was a very short story, Katie. Very, very short.
I'll say, so what haunted house was that?
Bedlam. I think we did something on that.
Yeah.
That was the guy that was brought up on abuse charges.
To his employees?
I can't remember.
I think so.
Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up now. We're gonna
sure.
do some Bedlam haunted
We do
house.
some weird stuff with the teenage employees or something.
New haunt taking. Public in September. Yeah, I can't see anything on the old stuff right now. This is... Yeah, I can't see anything right now. But I'm pretty sure we went over this at one point in time. I'm pretty sure we did. I know we've done a couple of different haunted house stories where the owner has been charged with either abusing people or going way overboard with the fucking shit.
That's McCamey. And yeah, we've covered McCamey.
Yeah, we've covered him, yes. Yes.
I think he's still at it, believe it or not.
Really?
Very pathetically, but yes.
Wow. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Our next story of the evening, Katie, from the NewYorkPost.com. That's NYPost.com. Woman caught selling a definitively not haunted doll online. No returns. In the market for a creepy collectible? One that might hug you right back? Sarah Smith Gunter of Pinckney, Michigan, is selling a Jester Harlequin doll that's definitely not haunted for the low price of $30 on Facebook Marketplace. It is vintage 1980s in the style of Madame Verte, but I don't see any tags or brand name on it, Gunter claimed in the product's description. The small toy is also adorned with a balloon and lace collar. Advertised as being in used good condition, the doll is set in a seated position and comes with a balloon and lace collar, as well as some potential spooky surprises. Plays music and arms move only when you wind up the little crank in the back, not just on its own out of the blue in the night, Gunter continued. The Post has contacted Gunter for comment. The unsettling porcelain figure that also sports a pink and gray checkered jumpsuit is available to ship USPS Priority Mail for $9.25. But once a buyer is brave enough to welcome the doll into their homes, they're stuck with it, as Gunter is not accepting returns. The doll is one of over a dozen Gunter has listed on Marketplace, all ranging in price between $15 and $30.
Wow.
You know you want to see it.
Yeah, I assumed I was going to be able to see it.
Yeah, you know you want to see it.
I do.
Yeah. Oh, close that.
Ugh. Oh, it's one of those.
It's one of them.
Well, that's not that bad.
It's one of them.
I feel like I had one of those laying around as a kid.
It's one of them.
That's not that creepy.
Good old doll that's definitely not haunted. Facebook Marketplace. Guess you can hit up that Gunter woman. She's selling them all over the place.
She must have found a collection from a loved one that she's got to get rid of because she hates them and she's creeped out.
I guess. Let's see. Let's do this one, Katie. From dailylocal.com. Did the state warn visitors to Everhart Park that a Bigfoot-like creature might be there? Has Bigfoot, that shy and very elusive creature with extra-large sneakers, been spotted in Everhart Park? A note written on Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources letterhead was recently posted on a tree near the park on West Minor Street and at other county parks. Due to encounters in the area of a creature resembling Bigfoot, we are instructing all park visitors to observe elevated park etiquette, be cautious of your surroundings, and to keep the location of any small children and pets within a tighter scope of awareness, reads the posted release. Excuse me. Following an April Fool's posting of a video starring Bigfoot by Chester County staffers, which showed Bigfoot frolicking around Hibernia Park County, Commissioner Josh Maxwell said that Bigfoot is now hungry. I heard he was heading toward Mabel's for barbecue, Maxwell said. Motorists were urged to use extreme caution since the Southern Style Restaurant and Everhart Park are on opposite ends of the borough. Spokesperson Dave March said that there have been no confirmed Bigfoot sightings in the borough, and the missive did not come from DCNR. If you see anything that resembles Bigfoot, please contact local police immediately, March said.
Well, that was cheeky.
Yeah, they have fun with it, I guess.
It's about all you can do with it these days.
Yeah. Oh, let's go with this weird thing, Katie, from themirror.co.uk. The weirdest deep-sea creature ever with a see-through head and rotating eyes. And I'm not even going to fucking read the story, Katie. I'm just going to show you the fucking picture.
All right.
Because it just warrants you being shown the fucking picture. This thing is weird. It doesn't look right.
That's it? I thought that was like a submersible.
No.
That looks like a submersible.
Doesn't that look like something somebody would make to look like a fish? It looks wrong.
Well, it's also like a shadow and not really an image.
Mm-hmm. Fucked up.
Huh.
Tell me that ain't fucked up.
Is that the only picture?
Let me see what else we got here. Oh, no, we got this one.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, that's a little better.
It does look like
You can still see through its head though.
yeah, like back in the 90s when the idea of robots was really cool and they would make like little things that were see-through and you could see all the components on the inside of them.
Yeah.
That's what like computers that would be see-through and you could see all the little chips and the motherboards inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally what that reminds me of.
Looks like he's
Or
got
like
that.
Men in Black when you had the little alien inside of his head in a compartment.
Looks like it's got like the little Hellraiser box in its head.
Yeah. That's pretty creepy.
But I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of cool looking.
Wow. And so this is the first time we've seen that thing?
Where's yeah?
Oh, not
I
necessarily.
don't know. Weirdest deep sea creature ever. No, it's just the weirdest deep sea creature ever. I just thought it was cool.
I would agree. That is indeed pretty fucking weird.
I thought that was pretty neat. So I said,
it is.
We gotta take a look at that tonight.
Yeah, that's cool.
At least. Where's my news? There it is. Let's see. Our second to last story of the evening, Katie, from IndiaTimes.com. On the hunt for Bigfoot, barefoot prints discovered deep in Alaska wilderness send believers into frenzy. In an astounding turn of events, the finding of what is being characterized as barefoot prints deep within Alaska's untamed wilderness has thrown the world of Bigfoot fans into a frenzy. The prints discovered in a remote and rocky section of the state have reignited belief in the existence of the elusive monster. Local hikers discovered the prints while on an adventure in a region known for its difficult terrain and deep woodlands. The footprints, which are said to be larger than those of an average human, are devoid of any apparent indications of footwear, sparking conjecture that they could be those of the legendary Bigfoot. After barefoot tracks were discovered in the Alaskan Arctic, some Bigfoot believers believe they have found proof of the elusive beast. Images of possible Sasquatch tracks were uploaded on Sage Sully's Bigfoot Believers Facebook page. I'm going to let you take a look at these instead of reading on, Katie. And I forgot to cover the birds. tonight.
I saw that, or I heard that. They've
Yeah,
been pretty
she's-
good so far.
Yeah, she's being quiet, but she sounds like she might take off. So there's the trackway, I guess. There's these up here too.
The one on the right, not the one on the left.
This
right?
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, and then they have this, and these.
Okay, the one on the left looks fake as shit.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Or, well, and it's amongst a bunch of boot prints.
Mm-hmm.
That one looks believable. Well, wait. Oh. The one of the trackway that's like looking down. See, so that really looks like bear tracks to me.
Yeah.
The angle of the feet with the way they're going.
Yeah.
That very much looks like double-stepped bear tracks.
Yeah.
The claws. But to me, this picture doesn't look like the same tracks we were just looking at in those other pictures.
This stuff down here.
Yeah, that's not this. Those aren't the same. That's different mud and everything, right? Am I crazy?
I think okay, so I think they are all from different times.
Like that up there, the trackway. Looks like totally different mud. But I don't know anything. You've analyzed far more Bigfoot stuff than me, so.
Well, I'm just trying to see where it doesn't say. I can't tell if they're all from the same same spot, based on what people are saying and what's in the article. But I just thought that they were interesting pictures, you know.
They are for sure. That one on the left.
These are the ones that are down below.
One on the left just looks fake as shit.
This one?
Like, yeah.
It
or
looks like
human. It looks like a straight up human. Are they doing that to compare?
I don't know. They could be, because that one, the big toe is fucking huge.
Yeah,
long.
and that one looks more natural.
Yeah, this looks like a human foot.
Yeah.
And this looks like something, I don't know. I don't know what it looks like.
Looks more rugged, that's for sure. But it still doesn't look like the same shape as those, the trackway. And I don't know, the back of this one, the heel on the right looks
What about
like
those
a boot.
shoes? What about those shoes with toes?
Yeah, because this boot, the heel of it looks like a boot on that picture on the right.
Those ones not so much, but those ones kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, this one right there on the right. That looks like a boot heel.
Yeah, right there?
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So that looks like it could be those hiking shoes with the toes.
Yeah. I don't know. Some weird stuff, Katie.
Indeed.
Weird stuff. High strangeness, as they say. High strangeness going on in the world.
That's very accurate.
So, our title story of the evening, Katie. How soon are you willing to jump in a plane right now?
Not interested and no plans made. I won't be anytime soon.
I didn't think so. I need to go over to... I sent you the video, so I'm just going to go grab it from you. So that'll be the easiest way for me to do it, I think. We'll go there. Let's see what we got here. There we go. I came across this yesterday. This has been trending on Twitter pretty heavily. and I instantly sent it to Katie. Watched it about a dozen times, I think. And said to myself, if this is real, that's fucking scary. If this is real. So everybody's saying that this is has not been debunked, that this is actual images of MH370. Now, I don't know if it's MH370, but it's something. I don't know if it's CGI. I don't know what it is. You guys can take a look at it and decide for yourself. But this is all over the place. I mean, this isn't just where I found it. It was all over Twitter for the past 2 days. Plane comes in, goes around, and then, oh, something is around the plane. 2 things are around the plane. Oh, 3 things are around the plane. Oh, look at that. Look at the 3 things around the plane. Aren't they cunning? Doing little tricks. Sliding around. Ah. Just sliding around that plane. Boop! Where'd it go? It's like a magic trick, Katie. It's like a magic trick. Let's watch it again. It's like a magic trick. I don't know. I wish I had a guy named Phil Poling available for said video.
Yeah, my mind races.
I don't know.
I need some verification as to why everybody's so certain this is that specific flight.
MH370.
We need some evidence. We can't just have people saying, oh, this is it. Well, you can say something, but that doesn't make it true.
Correct. I agree with you completely.
I'd like to see some documentation as to how this was obtained, where it came from, where it's been all these years, if that is what this is. I have quite a long questionnaire to accept this.
What is it? I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what that is. I don't know if that's CGI. I don't know if that's a real video. I don't know if we're seeing a plane get winked out of existence. I don't know.
Those clouds in the picture on the right look completely static to me. Even if you find some soft edges, they're completely static.
Nah, I'm not. That I don't see as anything. That doesn't bother me.
I'm just thinking of how this could have been faked by somebody who knows what they're doing and is good, with some editing software and stuff.
Well, all they have to do is just edit the things in there. They don't have to do anything else, really.
Well,
but why are they on 2 separate videos?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's so many questions you could ask.
Those are the questions that I have right now.
Yeah, and who put this out there for it to be going around Twitter? Where did it come from?
I want to say it came from Jeremy Corbell and the whole UFO hearings thing. That's what I want to say.
A lot of that. I haven't watched.
Oh, I have too. Until I saw this.
I watched a few minutes of something, and I rolled my eyes and turned it off. It felt so fake to me. It felt not real. I turned it off. I couldn't.
Well, that one is interesting because we've, if this has something to do with MH370, then that's very interesting.
Especially if that's what that is.
If that's what that is, but we don't know.
It's a big
Like,
claim.
I'm not saying that it is. I'm not going to go out on a limb and be like, yeah, that's definitely MH370. There's a
Right.
lot of people out there saying that it is, and they're saying that there's stuff to back up that it is that flight. So I personally am not going to say that that's the case. But there are people out there saying that. And as so far as I know, no one has come out and disputed those claims yet.
Didn't they find pieces of MH370?
Supposedly. Supposedly.
Well,
Katie,
but what do you
kn-
mean supposedly?
Katie, you know how the propaganda machine
Well,
works.
that's the same one where the same dude found a bunch of different pieces all along a coastline because he kept going and looking for them.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that they did find it.
Well,
I don't know that they did find it.
right, I
And-
don't either. I didn't put
and-
hands on these objects, but
Right. And I mean, listen, the more things that I've seen, the more I am completely able to believe that we get lied to all the time.
as I said out loud that guy went and found all those pieces. It's pretty damning. It's almost as if someone told him exactly where to look
Right.
in all of these places. Oh.
Yeah, it's, hey, everybody wants to believe in a happy ending.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But you don't want to believe you're being lied to.
We're brought up on happy endings. That's, not the ones that you get in the back of the Yankee cranky shops. The ones in fairy tales.
Right.
Both can be pleasurable in their own way. But we're brought up on fucking fairy tales and happy endings, and that's what we expect.
And the human mind likes a complete story too.
Yeah,
we don't like mysteries.
So if they wrap it up and everything's all nice and oh yes, this is how it happened. It was a tragedy, but now we know. And that's our happy ending.
Well, and if they did know and they knew that it was these little ball things in the air, well, we can't tell them that. We got to wrap this up somehow.
It's the same thing with like true crime cases. We got to wrap this shit up. We got to get somebody fucking
make an arrest.
Charged. We got to get them in court. We got to fucking close this case. Happy ending.
That is crazy to ponder if that video is real. Like,
I know.
What it would mean if it was real. To me, my mind is actually just going to that mystery as a whole and everything we've thought.
Yeah.
But then, also, aliens. Hello. I mean, if we don't know what that was, I don't like talking about aliens.
How do we even know? It may not be aliens. Maybe it's some kind of weapon.
That's true.
Could be that.
I think they would know that if that were true, though. And then this is definitely just a horse and pony show of a video. And they're lying to us about what this video is. See, this stuff makes my brain hurt, Chris. That's why I can't do it, because I just circle.
I think, I don't know. Where's MH370? I don't know. Did it disappear? Did it crash in the ocean? Did the fucking pilot have a death wish? I don't know.
Could you imagine being one of the families of somebody that was on that plane and just not knowing and having all these crazy conspiracy theories?
No. It's like having a missing child that never gets found.
Right.
How do you deal with that? Like, how do you live every day?
I don't think I could.
How do you go on breathing? That's fucking rough. I look at some of those people that go through that shit, and I'm just like, what the? I'm watching that the Crime Weekly one right now that they're doing. Kyle Horman.
I haven't started that one yet.
Yeah, that one. Ugh. Like, fuck that. Fuck that.
Did you see? They did the Crime Weekly news on that.
Yeah, the guy that kidnapped that woman.
Yeah, cinder block cell.
That's a pretty fucked up story.
It's so fucked.
He moved around so much.
And he went far away to get her and drove her hours and hours.
I wonder how many times he's done something like this before. If you've got a cinder block cell in your house.
In the garage even, not even the basement. It was in the garage.
You've done something like this before. Probably multiple times.
He was committed.
Yeah. Yeah, because you start small. People start small.
He was pretty young, too.
Offending large. Yeah.
For how serious, when you do think of somebody...
Somebody was like, dude, go big or go home. And he's like, I'm putting a fucking cell in my goddamn garage.
I don't understand why the family's so oblivious. Like, oh, we had no idea. We just thought he was making a room.
Look at all the families that were told you're not allowed to go out there. His family was told they weren't allowed in the garage, period. They weren't even allowed to go out into the garage.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yep.
What you doing out there?
But look at how many people have had things like that. A shed, a garage, a whatever, a room in the house that people are not, a basement. Look at how many times that's happened.
I'm not built like that. You tell me I can't go in, I'll wait till you run to the grocery store. You can bet your ass I'm going in there. I'm finding exactly what you're doing.
I'm checking it all out.
All of it. I'm way too nosy. Mm-mm. Joe would know better. He can't hide shit.
Yeah. Good times.
Oh, that's too funny.
But yeah, it happens a lot.
Too much.
So to say, like, how did they not... There are so many families that have gone through this. Especially, and I've never really seen it with a woman. But I have seen it with guys. That they have this place... And it's especially, guys who have committed or are committing crimes.
Right.
They have a place that is their own.
Their sacred man cave.
Their sacred place. Nobody's allowed in there.
And they don't go in out of respect for their father figure or whomever.
Right. Some fucked up stuff.
Not in my house. I'm knowing everything.
Not in Katie's home, goddammit. No. I won't let it happen.
It's just weird. I would ask too many questions. Especially if it's a family, somebody I'm close to. No. You're not an acquaintance. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to grill you and I'm going to ask you all the questions that I have. And you're going to answer them. Or get out.
Rex Huerman had a room.
He had lots of places, and he was a hoarder. You can hide a lot of stuff in a hoard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to keep track of a hoard.
Yeah, that's another case. That the unfolding of which I'm kind of watching. Not like I'll wait and as
it's gonna be a long
happen.
Haul.
Yeah, it's gonna be. But all right, Katie, we'll get into our break. And we'll dive into the missing 411 stuff. We'll leave you with a little night driving. For your listening pleasure. We'll be right back to dive into the Tom Messick case and Aaron Hedges. 2 hunters that went missing. Part of the Missing 411 The Hunted documentary. So we'll dive into that when we get back. See you in a few. We are back. Ah, the night driving. Woo! So, the lovely Missing 411, the Hunted documentary. Katie, what did you think? And on second viewing, give me your thoughts.
I admittedly have never had a great opinion of Pilates and the whole Missing 411.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around a long time. It's an old, drawn out thing, in my opinion, and I think he's a very contrived artist.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, he uses really tragic missing persons cases as his art form. That's my opinion, and I know it's really harsh, but that is actually how I feel.
Yeah.
And actually watching it a second time all these years later, it was kind of hard to watch. And I think I didn't necessarily really commit to watching it like maybe I should have, because I was kind of going into it with my old bias. So
yeah,
I've always found him contrived. I don't know. That's just the only word I can use for Pilates, is he's a very contrived man.
So like I said before, I think he highlights things that normally wouldn't get highlighted. He brings attention to cases that normally wouldn't get attention.
He does accomplish that, yes.
So there's that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think like I said before, I think he has an agenda. It is I'm of the opinion that he has an agenda. You know, people defend him and say, well, I don't think he's out for the money. But I look at the multitude of Missing 411 books and documentaries and go, pretty sure it's kind of about money a little bit. And that's fine.
Right, everybody has to make a living.
You tied your sail to that ship, dude. So whatever. That's your thing. I'm fine with that. But don't leave shit out is my big thing. So the one that got me the biggest out of the Missing 411 cases was the Tom Messick case, which he went missing on November 15th, 2015. He was 82 years old. Now, he went out in the woods with, I believe it was 7 other people. And
it's a big group.
As it's told in the Missing 411 documentary, you're told that all of these guys went out to their spots and that they would have stayed there and they never would have moved. And then that the younger guys were going to push the deer through so that the older guys could take shots at the deer when they came through.
Which is a common hunting strategy.
Correct. And it was all the guys that were there in the line were all about, I think they were all in their 80s, I think.
I think there was a few younger ones, but
right in that area.
Yeah.
So I did some deep diving on this one because all of a sudden Tom Messick goes missing. Not a trace of him is found. Nothing. Not his gun. Not a candy wrapper. Nothing, as they say in the documentary. So, and one of the guys that was hunting with him claims to have heard this like whoosh, whooshing sound, like a trap door closing or something. But he claims that it came from up on the hill, from whence the deer should have been coming from. And mind you, everybody in this documentary is saying that Tom Messick never would have gone anywhere. He would have stayed in his spot, blah, 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 blah. Now, mind you, Tom Messick was 82.
It's pretty old.
Tom Messick was blind in one eye completely and could barely see out of the other one. And couldn't hear very well. there are reports of people saying, people that were in the group, saying that Tom did not, in fact, say that he was going to go sit at that rock, that he was going to go walk around for a bit. There's a lot of speculation out there that this was a hunting accident. I'm not saying that that's the case, but that is one of the theories that's out there, is that this was a hunting accident and that it's a cover-up. It's either some other people shot Tom that he ran into because he was walking around, or he walked into fire from the other guys on the hunting party, and then they didn't know what to do, so they fucking covered it up.
That's a lot of people to keep that story, though, for all those years.
That
That's
is.
a lot of people
I agree.
for not one to crack.
I completely agree. I'm just throwing it out there because those are theories that are out there.
And it's possible.
But it is very interesting to me that there are reports that Tom, in fact, did not stay where he was supposed to be. Didn't have any intention of it.
Right, he wasn't even assigned a spot, really. He wasn't really a part of the grid.
No, he was. But he said he was going to go walk around. And one person noted, if you're in that position, in a push, in a line, if you're out walking around, you're looking to get shot.
Right.
Like, that's what somebody had said in the thread that I was reading through. And I agree with them. Like,
especially if you can't even see and hear, like...
Yeah, so I mean, that one, after delving into that one a little bit and seeing more of what was there, I was like, wait a minute. This isn't as cut and dry as he's making it out to be, that this guy just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Is that one that they ever found remains of him eventually, though?
No.
I didn't think so.
They've never found remains of Tom Messick. He is still missing to this day. So.
I think the sinkhole theory is the other big theory.
The sinkhole theory is another huge theory. Is that he fell down a sinkhole.
And I think that one's pretty plausible.
And that's one that I also agree with. If he was out walking around, it's very possible he could have found a sinkhole. Like I said, he's 82. Boom.
Couldn't fight it.
Like, he
didn't see it coming.
Break his neck, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
He's done. I mean, anything that happens to him, he falls down a sinkhole. Yep. That dude is not getting out of there by himself.
Nope.
More than likely. So that one was easily something that I was like, oh. So then I delved deeper. After going down that, I started up ye old Missing 411 documentary again and went into the Aaron Hedges case and watched through that. But before we get into that, we do have a comment from Farmer Fred Smith.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I saw it.
Richard Allen mentioned you on his show yesterday. He mentioned being part of your old show. He was on my old show for a period of time. We did have a Richard Allen. One British man that sounds kind of like Kermit the Frog, if I'm being honest. Raises ferrets, acts kind of weird, lives out in the boonies of the UK, if I remember correctly. Very odd man with his ferrets. Yes.
It was fun.
Yeah, Richard's all right. But yeah, so I got into the Aaron Hedges portion of the documentary. And from there, I kind of like finished out the documentary. And like you and I were talking, they go into the Sierra Sounds, the camp that the hunting camp up there that no one knows about, or the location is secret. So I've been to one of these well, it's not as secret, but I've been to one of these like locations. So I've been to the Sierra Kill spot, where supposedly where Justin Smeha shot a Bigfoot and a baby Bigfoot, or juvenile. I don't know. But that's what he claimed. I don't think that that's what happened, if I'm being honest. I think it was a big bullshit story. But the people that went hot and heavy on that whole story and started researching that area wanted it closed off. Now, understand that this is a public place. And they didn't want it closed off by the authorities. They just didn't want anyone in the know letting anyone else know about where it was.
Right.
Taking anyone up there. So there were people that threw a shit fit at the time when I went up there. Because they
just for going?
Just for going up. Because after that, I would know where it is. I can't even remember how to fucking get there, if I'm being honest.
Right.
You know, it was in California, for fuck's sake.
I'm sure it was a trek to get there, so.
It was. So, you know, and it was very interesting. It was cool to see. It was cool to see this place that I had seen on videos and thermal images of, because they got some, you know, Barcatino got some interesting thermal images up there. I'm not saying that it's Bigfoot, but he got some very interesting thermal images from up there. And again, I don't necessarily agree with Smeha's story, but that whole, like, we have to hide the area, we need to keep it pristine just for us. Like, okay, A, you don't own it.
Right.
B, it's on public land. Like, that's... I hate people that are like that. I gotta keep it secret. I gotta keep the public land secret.
Right. Well, and I'm sure you could reason the, like, sanctity of the place. Of, oh, if everybody comes up there, it's gonna not be the same anymore. But there's still that gross feeling of, like you said, oh, it's my secret. I gotta keep it.
It's fucking... Yeah, so anyway, they put that in there. And then at the end of the movie, he puts in that whole predator encounter thing, which is, like, really wacky. And I don't think it had any place in that documentary, if I'm being honest.
No. I don't think the Sierra Sound thing really had a place in it very much, but more so than the Predator thing. I mean, in the context of Missing 411.
Right. So then I went back and started delving into the Aaron Hedges case. And I started watching videos that other people had put out and reading down through some Reddit posts. And that case was a little topsy-turvy. Excuse me. So this is a guy that is made out to be very well put together. Hunter, knows what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. Now, he very may well have been an accomplished hunter. And that's fine.
Experienced, at least.
Okay, I'm gonna burst everyone's bubble for a second. I've known many accomplished hunters in my life. There's a certain percentage of people who are called accomplished hunters who are dumbasses who carry guns into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I can testify to this because I've known many of them.
And they're all over.
Yes. There are people who know what they're doing when they go out into the woods. I agree with that. Completely. They exist. Dumbasses exist too.
Right, but the morons are out there too.
And I'm sorry, but it seems to me like anytime I watch one of these things, they look at any dumbass with a gun, some camo, and a fucking tent, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, by that right, I know what I'm doing. And I can assure you I fucking don't.
Yeah.
So they go out. I wanted to try to pop up a map of the crazies.
Yeah, because that's mountains it's in.
The mountains. Let me see if I can find a... Because I know where all the little spots were in there.
I thought it was interesting that the crazy mountains don't actually have hardly any missing people or tragic accidents and deaths, and it's actually one of the safest mountain ranges to go spend time in.
Alright, so I've got the... That's that one. That shows everything there. I wanted their original trek in. All it's showing me is where all this shit was found.
Well, that'll be helpful too.
That'll be helpful, at some point, but I want, let me see if I can find it this way. Somebody's got to have it all in there. No. Of course not. Nobody uploaded it. Because they suck. Well, anyway. Guess we could kind of extrapolate if I brought up the Google map. Let's see if I can find it. Crazies. Crazies Mountains. We'll do it this way. That really didn't help me either. Oh, there it is, right there. There they are. Now I just gotta find everything. This isn't gonna be easy, Katie. This isn't gonna be... I thought this would be a little easier. This isn't that easy. Why couldn't somebody put it up for me? This would have made it a lot easier. I was hoping to be able to follow their line in, but
Well, he went in with 2 friends, didn't he? It was 3 guys.
He went in with 2 friends. I'm trying to get their names right here. I forgot their names. Of course, they're not fucking... It's not in this article that I pulled up at all.
I don't remember their names. I know I should, but I don't.
Of course I can't find anything about their fucking names. Well then, let me try this again. I hate this shit. Alright, where is it? Mysterious Universe. No, I don't want that. I just want something about the fucking story that tells me something, you dumb motherfuckers. Disappearance. Say. Find it this way. Oh, friend 1 and friend 2, it says in this one. That works well.
I don't see him named either.
I want to say it was Paul and something else.
I know they said their names in the documentary, though.
They do.
Yeah.
I've heard them like a million times in the past few days, but I can't fucking find it anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, so... Anyway, I did find a good summary of it, though. So the hunt started on September 5th. Aaron was last seen on September 7th, and the hunt ended on September 10th. Now, understand, they had been in contact with him most of this time. But what had happened is They were going in. They had a horse and a pack mule. Now, in the Missing 411 documentary, Polides claims that they had 2 horses and a pack mule. They don't.
Which is so weird, isn't it?
Right. They had a horse
It's a weird
and a pack
discrepancy.
Mule. The pack mule, I guess, got all fucking riled up, and all of Aaron's shit, his tent and everything, sleeping bag, all went over the side of a cliff, from what I gather. Mm-hmm. It was all on the pack mule.
Yeah, and it was unretrievable.
Right. And they were not very good at handling horses and or mules.
Yeah, they didn't have the experience in the mountains.
This is the first time that they'd ever done it. Both of these guys claimed afterwards that Aaron was an asshole from this point on, which, hey, rightfully so. Eventually, he decides he's going to go on up ahead because they had a stash of supplies. And he didn't have a tent, sleeping bag. Now, one thing that is not mentioned in the documentary is that one of these guys went back down to the vehicle and got him shit. Yes.
Some makeshift stuff. Actually, I think they all went back. I think they all backtracked.
No, just one of them did.
One of them? Okay.
Yep. And so, but Aaron decided that he was going to go on up ahead, go to this secret cache, grab the stuff, and do some hunting, and meet up with these guys. Now, over the course of this time, these guys shoot an elk and tell Aaron that they need him to come back to help. And he doesn't. And he's said he's missed the trail. He says he doesn't think he's going to make it back. And then they lose contact with him. These guys leave at the end of the hunt. They don't call search and rescue. They don't call anybody. They get in touch with Aaron's wife or better half or whatever, and ask her if Aaron is still alive. And then I think they tell her that she should call 911 or search and rescue. These guys did themselves 0 favors. 0 favors.
They did Aaron 0 favors, literally.
Right. So, at the point that the search starts, the authorities tell these 2 guys, do not go back up there. They do. Don't tell them that they're going back up there. They go up there, camp out for a night at the place where the cache was, and leave, being seen by search helicopters. Now, I'm very curious about this whole thing. Because it's at this point, after this point, they're already searching for Aaron. He's been missing. And they went back up to the secret cache. Why?
There had to be a reason.
The only thing I can think of is either there's some guilt that they have associated with Aaron's death, or they had something hidden up there in that stash that they didn't want the authorities to find.
My understanding from what I dug into with this, which I admit was not as much as you. I did not go that deep. But from what I saw, that stash was Aaron's and not theirs. And that's why when he went with them, he was open about separating. He's like, yo, I'm not staying with you guys this whole time. From the very beginning, before he lost his shit, he was planning on separating at some point and going to this cache of his. But it was his and not theirs.
They didn't seem very friendly.
No, they really didn't. He really seemed like he was just kind of using it as an opportunity to get to his cache, and it had nothing to do with these 2 dudes.
Yeah. So,
that was the vibe I got.
And the other thing that Polides left out of this one was that, Aaron was on medications, drugs, benzos, and he was drinking. And supposedly he was trying to detox from drinking.
Right. He was supposed to be detoxing.
While he was on this trip. Now, there are people that were part of the investigation, not in the documentary, but outside of the documentary, who said Aaron was doomed the minute he went on that trip. You know, he was going to die because he went on that trip. And I tend to agree with that, but I don't understand why.
He wasn't in a good place when he went on the trip.
Right, he wasn't, but I wonder why he was doing all of the things that he was doing. And here's the thing. I think he was running. I don't know from what.
Right.
But they say that those guys are not implicated in his death. But what do they have to show for that, really? They found, like, his skull and something else. You know? There was literally nothing to show how he died.
Right.
So...
Well, wasn't his skull found, like, pretty blatantly under a tree, too?
Yep.
It's pretty, like, been there a long time. Should have been found by then.
Yeah, let me pop up the... So...
I don't know. It's weird to me that Pleiades even included this case because it doesn't fit his criteria for so many different reasons. He does have criteria of what fits into his mold of telling a missing 411 case. And two big things that are part of that is no self-harm ideation
mm-hmm.
and no drugs and alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this case has technically both.
Yeah.
So, and I think technically the mileage of where his remains were found aren't technically far away enough for his, like, that's another qualifier of like, oh, well, how far away were the remains?
I think I found...
The remains weren't that far away either.
Yeah, I found a pretty good one. All right, so yeah, this one shows a lot of it. So hold on, we'll be able to look at it here. Who's this guy? IO Walks? Who's watching me? Should I talk or should I sing? What are you to me? You know one but a number. Fuck off. Anyway. Where is it? New video, the missing enigma. There it is. All right. Let me share screen. Share. So, this is a map of the area here. This is Campfire Lake. Wasn't that where they were... That's where they were based out of?
Yeah, what's the other lake?
Sunlight Lake.
That's the one that he had his cache at.
Right. And then, so... This is where he was headed. He missed the turnoff, like, here. He was headed from here up to here. The turnoff to go up to Sunlight Lake is in, like, here. But he missed this, supposedly. And kept going on. And they found his boots up here. One thing that's not mentioned in the documentary, I believe it's at the place where they found his boots, there were 2 separate fires.
Yeah.
And I thought that was also very interesting.
It was more of a campsite than it was just finding a pair of boots.
Right. And
there's
like
definitely a general disturbance in the area beyond the boots.
And another thing that people said outside of the documentary was that it's very common for those types of hunters to take off their boots and put on moccasins or sneakers to be quieter when they stalk the game. So that's very common.
Yeah.
And it was made out in the documentary to be like, this is very odd that his boots were just sitting there. It's like, no, that's something that they do.
Well, my question would be for those guys that were with him was, did he even have those? Because if you remember, he lost all his shit. So did he even have a spare pair of shoes to put on and take off his boots?
Don't know.
Was he a barefoot kind of guy in a pinch?
I knew a barefoot guy once.
Well, and especially if he's desperate for food and he does still have his gun.
A man by the name of Michael. Last name of M.
I bet he was an interesting fella.
Michael Merchant? Yeah, oh yeah, he was a fucking interesting fella. Yeah. So anyway, yes, they find his boots here, and then his backpack's found up here. It's quite a bit later on, and then like a year later, his remains are found over here, not far from where his backpack was. Now, their whole take is that he was suffering from exposure, so all the way back here he was suffering from exposure.
Yeah, so how did he make it all that way without his boots?
Right, and like everything's kind of suspect to me in this one. Not in that, like, more to the fact that I think there's more to the story.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if something happened between these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I said, I wonder if there was something at that cache that they wanted.
Maybe.
And they got Aaron, not necessarily killed him, but got him out of the way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I question that type of stuff just from looking at everything. They were really sketchy. They didn't answer any of the questions like they should have. They lied constantly.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is you don't know how much of any of this is true. Honestly, he could have died in the mule accident when he lost all his shit. Maybe he was dead at that time, and
they just fucking, you know. But according to them, there are things from his phone. I do know that.
They would have had his phone.
You're right. They would have had his phone. You know, and they claim that when he radioed them, they had his GPS location at a certain location. But you're correct. That all could have been made up too. Who knows?
They could have just gone on their hike and scattered his shit along the trail and dropped his body there at the end and then hiked it back. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's all speculation.
The possibilities are endless, but like I feel like that's on the table.
Well, I just think it's interesting that these two were extremely sketchy.
Yeah.
Extremely sketchy. And I'm not saying that they
suspicious.
did. It's very possible that he was going through the DTs, you know, going through withdrawals. He had some serious problems. He got all fucked up and discombobulated and somehow got... I don't understand how you get lost out in the woods when you can stare down the hill at a house.
Right.
Because where he was found, there were houses and places. He was found on a ranch by other people in plain view coming through on a tour. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying that by looking into this case that it made more sense to me than what Polides had tried to lay out.
Right.
It makes less sense to me. The stuff that he left out doesn't fill in any of the blanks.
No.
You know, I think he should have put it all in. I think it's still kind of a mystery.
He, like, washed it out, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he definitely
But the
did.
fact that the two guys were shady, because you really are taking all of the facts we know from these two dudes that could be lying about absolutely everything. The base of the story that we're taking as fact could be false.
But they did lie about everything.
Right. They were proven liars anyways.
Yeah.
So you can't even, like, nitpick the truth out of it because it's all sus. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
But then you also lean back on the fact of, like, anybody who knew him said he shouldn't have gone on that trip. He didn't belong on that trip. He wasn't in the headspace for it. He wasn't in the physical space for it. He shouldn't have gone.
And I mean, I got to give props to the dudes, the Missing Enigma on YouTube, and the Lore Lodge guys. I watched through all of their videos on this stuff because they did some really good research.
Yeah, I think the Lore Lodge, that was the one I watched.
Yeah, the Lore Lodge guys do some good stuff. I thought that he was kind of trite the first one I tried to watch, but then I kind of like was able to sit back and just enjoy it. But going through these cases, that's what I found. And I looked into another one that he had done. Like I said, Missing 411, this guy, you know, drugs were definitely a factor. He was found with meth on him when he was found. You know, and he was found after the Missing 411 documentary had come out. It's actually the new one, the UFO one. We should get into that one of these times.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That one's relatively new.
Yeah, no, I definitely haven't seen it then. Definitely not.
We should do the Missing 411 UFO connection one.
If we
pretty
must.
soon. Yeah, we should at some point. Not right off. I mean, we just had enough Missing 411 for a while, I think.
Yeah.
I'm good with Missing 411 for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, that's a like once a decade type of topic for me. Just kidding. Just kidding. I just feel like it's been that long since I looked into it. I feel like that was like a decade ago that this stuff was like popping. Ooh, yeah.
I know it's a no-go excuse me. I know it's a no-go topic for Phil. Ah, God, I got gas. For Phil.
Yeah, he won't touch him.
Phil fucking cannot stand Pallades.
I could see that.
Or Pallades, whatever, however you say his name.
He's really seems like a contrived dude. Which, and hey, he's made some stuff that's obviously been popular. People like it. People eat it up.
Oh yeah, yeah. People absolutely love his shit. And listen. I can sit down and watch that documentary and be entertained. Sure. Okay. I can also go over it all afterwards and be entertained all over again.
Right. Yeah.
As I find out all this shit. So, do I give a shit? No. But
right.
Am I gonna call it out if I see it? Yeah. And in this case, he left shit out of the documentary that definitely should have been in there for context. Aaron Hedges' drug abuse and the fact that he was trying to withdraw of alcohol while he was on this trip should have been front and center.
Right.
Front and center.
It's a big factor, but it couldn't be front and center, Chris, because that doesn't fit his parameters for what he uses as qualifiers.
Sasquatch chasing this kid through the fucking woods. Like, and if it was fucking Sasquatch or aliens, why didn't he go to the fucking house? Why?
I know.
What, dude, there was a house right there. Right fucking there. They showed...
way though, maybe he was starved by then and couldn't...
They showed the spot where he stopped and had a drink.
Yeah, that's true, an energy drink that was sitting.
And then he traveled further on. And from that point, the house was right there.
But see, that's the kind of thing that makes me think that foul play. And somebody was staging it because they knew they had the time to. Look, nobody else is in these woods where they're not expecting us back for a few more days.
That's why I want to know. If I could have one question about this case answered, why did those guys have to go up to that cache after they were told not to?
Right.
Why? For what reason did they go up there?
Well, and I want to know, so had nobody been to the cache yet, authorities-wise? And then when did they find out it afterwards?
They told the authorities the wrong place to look.
Of course. They see...
That's why I want to know. That's why I want to know about that cache. I want to know what was there that was so important that they needed to get to before the authorities got to it.
It must have been a lot of money or something, because I could have sworn they said that it was Aaron's cache, not these two guys.
I don't know, but I just think that in and of itself is very, very suspect.
Super. But if that were true too, then why didn't they take it out the first time? Why did they need to go back? If they were going to leave those woods, they better have left with whatever. Like, why would they need to go back?
Maybe they figured, they were going to contact Aaron the minute they got out of the woods.
But
that could have been too. But that
kill
eliminates
him?
Right, that eliminates the idea that they got rid of him. I don't know.
Yeah, but then even still, if he got lost going,
and you got to remember, you also got to remember, Katie, that criminals are dumb. Some criminals are dumb.
Yeah, but we haven't figured it out, so they clearly weren't that dumb.
Right?
But they were dumb enough to need to go back. You never return to the scene of the crime.
I just want to know why they needed to go up there. Whether or not they're guilty of Aaron's death or not.
Right. That's still a valid question.
I want to know why these two fucking morons decided to go back up there after the authorities told them, do not go up there while we're doing this search.
Right.
And we need to know where this cache is. And then they told them the wrong place to go. And then went up there to go to the cache themselves.
See, so if they were caught on...
And they also poached a fucking elk on somebody's property that they shouldn't have.
Oh, that's right. That was the other detail. Okay. That was the angle as to why people would maybe explain away that they were lying.
I think there was
people were
more
like,
to it
oh,
than
why are
that.
you lying? Oh, they were trying to hide the fact that they were hunting on private property.
I think these guys were fucking poachers through and through. I think they normally did this. I don't think that was a problem.
Right, but that would be why they would lie if things got hairy.
I don't think so.
I agree, but like that's the angle they took.
Right. I don't agree with that angle, is what I'm saying.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're really talking life and death, yeah, I was poaching. That's a lesser crime than whatever happened to this dude.
Fuck yeah. I own up to that instantly in that fucking scenario.
Anybody with a soul would.
Yeah. Fuck, I shot the elk. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
I did it.
Didn't kill that dude though.
Right.
You know, like that would be the first thing I'd fucking own up to.
But so if they caught these guys returning to the cache and they caught them on like search and rescue thermals or whatever, and so they know they returned.
They were seen by the helicopters. They knew they went up there, and then they left.
So why weren't they charged with like interfering with a crime scene or?
I don't know.
Falsifying.
It's not considered a crime scene because he was considered that he was exposed to the elements.
He was just missing. What about interfering with an investigation? How about that?
Don't know. I think these guys, they're guilty of something.
Yeah.
Something. I mean, I don't know what, but it just seems weird, the whole situation. Like I said, in this case, he didn't have to go with the Bigfoot angle or... This case is weird in and of itself.
Right.
In and of itself. Just as it fucking stands.
Mm-hmm. It's still a mystery.
What is going on? What was going on?
Right.
What was going on between these three guys? And you'll never get that clear answer.
Never.
You're never going to get it. I don't care who you talk to. Everybody's going to have a different story. The people that are their friends are going to fucking cover their ass. You're going to get some guy who's going to give you some wackadoo fucking story that he heard this or whatever. You're never going to find it out.
Nope.
So that's where we sit. The mystery of Aaron Hedges. But I think when you have mysteries like this, put out all the facts.
Yeah.
Like, don't leave shit out so that it fits your narrative. Put all the facts in. The case can be just as good with all the facts in.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, even if this dude was fucking messed up on drugs and alcohol, he still could have been abducted by aliens or fucking chased by Bigfoot.
Yeah, but he can't put that in there because his whole style of doing these documentaries is very like bad cable TV.
Mm-hmm.
They're very whitewashed and like dumbed down to a point where, well, we can't talk about the drugs and alcohol. Oh,
yeah,
we can't talk about that he had a shitty home life, and like you just.
Well, it fits the narrative,
right? But there shouldn't be a narrative. The narrative should be. Here are the facts we have.
It's like a Lifetime movie. You know what you're gonna get.
Right.
That's all it is. It's a fucking. You're gonna get your fucking beat here. You beat here. You beat here. They're gonna get back together and kiss, and the family's all gonna be fucking happy. Everything's wonderful.
And that's exactly what he does with these things.
It's cookie cutter. It's very, very cookie cutter. And like I said, I do not begrudge him for what he's doing or for his path. What I begrudge him for is the fact that he leaves shit out.
Right.
Don't leave the shit out, man. You could be a very credible guy, David. A very credible guy if you just put in all the shit.
Right.
You know? I don't think, and listen, I'm not saying that you're a malicious guy or that I think that you're doing this for evil purposes. I do think it's a source of income for you. And that's fine. That's fucking fine. Cool with that. But just fucking do it right. You know, it's like I've said to the Bigfoot researchers and the UFO researchers and the ghost researchers and the this researcher and the... Do it the right way. It's very easy to just do your research the way that you should.
Right.
And the fact that they won't is mind-boggling. Like, it takes very little.
I think he probably justifies it as like he's neatening it up and he's putting it in this nice presentation for the everyday person to consume and be able to take it in.
It's got a wrapping and a bow. Oh, isn't that sweet?
I mean, that seems like what he's doing, because it's not like this is the only documentary where he picks and chooses stories.
Oh, no.
The facts within it. He does this to all of his cases.
His books are the same. I mean, you know, the Dior Koontz case is another one that comes to mind. That is not a missing 411. I'm sorry.
No.
There's foul play there in and of the people that were there. I don't know who or what happened, but I don't think it's a missing 411 case.
Well, and that case, that's honestly even worse in my opinion, because in the context of a book, you couldn't throw an extra 70 pages in there to put all the facts that you missed. Like in a documentary, okay, I get it. You don't want the documentary to go over 2 hours. You want to cover a lot of stories. Okay, I can maybe justify you neatening up the story. But you wrote a whole last book, and you left all this shit out.
And there's a lot of questions about those parents. You know, and the other people that were there. Although the guy that nobody knew is the only guy whose story stayed straight.
Right. Which
that's
I think
the weird one.
Lot. That says a lot to me.
So, I listen. Like I said, we will definitely come back to Polides again. Fuck his name.
I say Polides.
David
but I don't know
P.
That's right.
David P. You know, and I'm not. When I say this stuff, I'm not shitting on the guy. I'm not like Phil. I don't hate him.
I'm kind of shitting on the guy if I'm being honest.
I could sit down and talk to him. I could. I very easily could. I would not have a problem with it. I'd love to, you know, but I don't want him to ever think that, you know, I am hateful about it or anything like that, because I'm not. I just have questions like, why, man? Like, why wouldn't you? You seem like you could come off as a very credible guy if you just did the extra legwork. Why? That would be my question. So, yeah, good times. Good times. It's been an interesting week. Did I mention anything about Jimmy Dore and Marianne Williamson last week on the show?
I don't think so.
No. I heard the best question asked of a fucking presidential candidate yet.
What was it?
I can't remember the question now. However, it was the follow-up that was the best part of the question, because she got all upset. And Jimmy said, "I know it's a tough question. Now answer it." And this has been the Fortean Files. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fuck it before it fucks you.